Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show on a Monday.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. Oh, hello. I need to center up. Watch this. Woo! That's how you produce, baby. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but can you give me more you in my ear?
Let's go.
You're a little low in my ear.
Can you hear me now? This is the one and
only time I may ever say that to you.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. I think I'm a little bit better. Hello, everybody.
No one's ever asked for more of my voice.
It's very true. Sorry, my IFB is...
This is why we do the free show before the pre-show. Wait, no. Scratch that. Backwards.
The pre-show.
This is why we do. We also do the free show for a reason, too, but, like, this is for the pre-show.
So I got a call, or I sent out a tweet this weekend, and I want to follow... It's follow-up Friday here.
On a Monday.
How much college football did you watch this weekend? Because I saw a tweet from your roommate.
Yeah.
That seemed to indicate that you guys were watching a lot of college football. Is that true?
Yes.
I want to say she had like 9 games up at once.
I think she had 6 on our laptop, and then we had one on the big screen and one on the small screen. So we big screened the Bayou bucket of Houston versus Rice.
We love a bucket, don't we, folks?
Yeah, and then we small screen TV'd the Texas versus UTSA game.
Mm-hmm.
But there were 6 additional games on the laptop.
So let me tell you about just the different places that we are.
That was after we watched UNT get absolutely wrecked by Tech on a massive screen out at a local establishment.
Got murked.
I was glad I didn't drive to Lubbock for that.
Yeah, let me tell you about the different places that we are in our lives, because this is 100% true. My wife, at about 3 o'clock today, said to me, and this is a direct quote, "Hey, did Mizzou already play?" Turns out, unbeknownst to all of us, they played at 11 a.m. In a ranked matchup against Boston College.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that.
We saw 0 plays, but what I did see was Minions.
Minions!
Max is very into Minions right now.
That rocks. I am also very into Minions right now.
So there's just like a lot of that's just a very different thing. Like the idea of sitting down and watching college football all day seems so foreign to me, because like I have not done it in legitimately 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, not since like Max was when Hank was a baby.
Yeah.
Like then that's the last college football season that I got to like really lock in all day.
There gets to be a weekend that I try to shut down all football in my brain other than high school football.
Yes.
I always have to do high school football. That's part of the gig.
It's part of the gig.
That being said, there is always, usually I do it around kind of like the Cowboys bye week, but sometimes depending on when that falls, it comes sooner than that. But there always comes a week where I am so mentally drained by the amount of football that I watch that I have to stop. Our audio engineer, Carlina, for Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Shout out Carlina,
the real goat. But she said, I see you're in Mallory's Instagram stories and stuff, and I realized like all y'all do is football. She's like, it's 24/7. Doesn't that get exhausting? And I was like, at times. But it is nice to watch as like a fan, I guess, if you can call it that.
Yeah. The other thing that happened yesterday, and I promise you, this is not to rub it in.
Yeah. Well.
But like Hank got up from his rest time, and it was about 2:15. And he came downstairs, and we had the Cowboys game on.
Oh, yeah.
And it was about 2:15, so you can probably time check where the score was at about that time.
I didn't watch the game.
And Hank came downstairs, and he goes, "Oh, no, the Stars."
You know what? I say the same thing, Hank.
The Stars.
Agree.
They only have, I think it was like 19 points or something, and the other team has whatever the Saints had at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was very disappointed in the Stars.
I had breakfast with my brother yesterday, and we watched the first little bit, but then we went and did a couple of other things. And by the time that I was planning on getting back to like catch probably the second half, I got on Twitter for 0.2 seconds and saw, it's over. No. And I was like, I'm not even turning this on.
Never mind.
I don't need to put myself through pain on a nice Sunday.
You don't. You can have a nice Sunday.
Yeah, and I did.
You can have a nice Sunday. Let's have a nice Monday. Hit the theme, Expo. Oh, no. Yes, y'all. From the new Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in scenic Lewisville, Texas. It is Texas Football Today, a show that got all gussied up just for you. My name's Greg Tepper. I am the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, other streaming platforms that I'm not aware of, or you're listening to us no response from the producer, or you're listening to us on the podcast. I
can't give away all my secrets. It's a Monday.
Which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. They call her the Duchess of the Dorks. They call her Miss 305. Call her Gizmo. She's Ashley Pickle.
Yo, you dropped a gizmo on the show on Friday.
I did.
It brought joy to me.
That really is that's something that I think I need to become more aware of.
Yeah.
Is it like the Dave Campbell's cinematic universe? Like there's maybe not a whole lot of crossover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a fair chance that like there's people who are watching Texas Football Tonight who are unaware of this show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, hey, whatever you're watching, thanks.
I like the thought of people just thinking my name is Gizmo. They're like, I don't know, I found this Texas Football Tonight. It's kind of like a Red Zone style show. There's this there's two guys and then there's this broad on there. I think her name is Gizmo.
Yeah.
Like that brings me immense joy.
But here's the other thing, is that the other option is that they're like, well, they say her name's Ashley Pickle. There's no way that's her real name.
So Gizmo has to be closer to correct.
Today is Monday, September 16th, 2024. 73 days to Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to rapper Florida. I'm sorry. Flo Rida. It's episode 1799. Wow. You know what Thursday will be?
1800.
A little round number. On today's show, folks, big beefaroni Monday episode of Texas Football Today. We are going to have Monday Morning Fallout where we overreact to the football weekend. A lot to overreact to there. Then we're going to be joined by the head coach of a team that I don't think we're overreacting to. The 3-0 Arlington Seguin Cougars. Coach Joe Gordon will join us here in just a little bit to talk about his 3-0 Seguin Cougars. A lot to talk about there.
Yeah.
Then we're going to unveil the Week 4. I always get that wrong. Week 4.
Yes.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football statewide rankings. We'll roll out the Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Week 3. Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Dave Campbell's Texan Live plays of the week. And then we're going to be joined by Greg Powers, our director of recruiting for This Week in Cruton. All that and more on a star-studded episode of Texas Football Today. But do we have first words for the door?
We sure do. It was Hector Rios, TJ Hudson, Big Jiggly Water Balloons, and jersey number 69. Welcome in, fellas.
Welcome in, friends. We do appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us. And there's only one way to start a Monday football season episode of Texas Football Today. Pickle, hit the air raid siren. It's time for Monday Morning Fallout. Monday Morning Fallout, where we overreact to the football weekend. And what a weekend of overreacting to do we've got on deck for you. Let's start with my opening kick. It's getting real. I think that now we've reached the point in the Texas high school football season, with 3 weeks down, where we can start separating what is real and what isn't. We are now, I think, out of hot start, slow start territory. I think that while obviously teams can improve, or injuries can happen, or teams can fall off, I think that we're starting to figure out who these teams are. We have 3 weeks of data for a lot, 3 games of data for a lot of these teams. For example, and I'm just going to hammer on one district in particular, District 23-6A.
Big dogs.
Let's talk about Atascocita. Atascocita now has wins over Houston Lamar. I know a rebuilding Houston Lamar, but still a resounding win over Houston
Lamar. A ranked team at the time.
And then in the span of 7 days, they went to Katy and handed Gary Joseph, I think it was his 12th all-time regular season loss. And then they went on the road and they snapped Austin Westlake's 7-year home winning streak in consecutive weeks. I made the point on Twitter that that's the best resume in Texas high school football right now, and I had some people claiming that North Crowley's resume is better. And I'm a big fan of North Crowley. Great win over Denton Geyer. They have the single best win of the year.
Yeah, against DeSoto.
At DeSoto. But if you're stacking up wins, 2 and 3 then belong to Atascocita. Awfully impressive there. And let's stay in that district with Humble Summer Creek. Have you seen what Summer Creek's doing? They have outscored their opponents, I believe it's 156-0 in their first 3 games. So that's getting real, right? There's other teams that I think have established themselves as being very much for real. I look at a team like Salina, pummeling Gunner. I know it's a 4A over a 3A, but the way that they did it, awfully impressive.
Salina hasn't had an easy non-district trek either.
No. Columbus, same thing. Steady as she goes, absolutely romping teams. Sunray.
That one was impressive. Huge win over Stratford.
What I'm saying is we are now at the point where we need to start taking what we see with more of a face value to what we're saying. I think it's starting to get real around here. Game of the week, Fort Bend Hightower 40, Port Arthur Memorial 37 in overtime. This game was, to coin a phrase, Crazy Town Banana Pants. As Fort Bend Hightower scores basically as time expires to force overtime, holds Port Arthur Memorial to a field goal, and then goes down and gets a walk-off touchdown. Fort Bend Hightower is looking very good, and a team that I think you should be paying a little bit of attention to what the Hurricanes have got cooking, because I think that they are very strong. That's a 6A over a 5A, and I don't bury Port Arthur Memorial for this. But for Fort Bend Hightower, that is a wildly, wildly impressive victory there. Now it's time for Tepper's Play of the Week. And for Tepper's Play of the Week, we're going to Wink. Talk about their running back, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Kamid Fasciani.
That looks right.
Right, that looks right. Kamid Fasciani, in Wink's big win last week over, you're listening to live coverage of me checking out who Wink beat last week.
It is a purple team.
It was Alpine, my beloved Bucks. My beloved Bucks. They beat them 60-7. It was a good win for Wink. Looked very good. And for all we've talked about Wink as far as a passing attack is concerned, obviously they're replacing Cannon Gibson, etc. Kamid Fasciani put together one of the most remarkable runs we've seen in Texas high school football this year or in the past few years. And so what I want you to do is to count the broken tackles. And to be clear, I am only counting times when I can see somebody definitely made contact with him. A defender definitely made contact with him. There's at least 2 other times that I think they did, but I can't confirm it. Anyway, I don't know if you're going to believe this, but here is Kamid Fasciani of Wink with my play of the week. Kamid Fasciani of Wink, I counted 7.
That's insane.
That's 7 broken tackles. I think you could, if you wanted to squint, you could probably call it 9.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't argue with you. Kamid Fasciani of Wink gets my play of the week. It's time for the Dudes Rock Dude of the Week.
Who rocked?
We're going to find out which dude rocked the most with hashtag Dudes Rock. Let us know. Let Ashley Pickle, Ashley_Pickle12.
Nah.
Know which dude rocked the most with your Dudes Rock Player of the Week using hashtag Dudes Rock. Your Dudes Rock Dude of the Week is San Angelo Lakeview quarterback Christopher Alviso, who went 21 of 30 for 338 yards and 5 touchdowns passing in Lakeview's win over La Mesa, their first victory of the season. A huge performance from Christopher Alviso, the quarterback at San Angelo Lakeview. He's the recipient of this week's Dudes Rock Dude of the Week. Congratulations, dude.
Jeez.
Time for the NFL Minute. It was another big week. Week 2 of the NFL season is
finally we get some chicks rocking in here.
One more week in the books, right? We got Monday Night Football tonight. Who's on Monday Night Football?
I have no idea.
It's Falcons and Eagles. Falcons and Eagles.
Battle of the Birds.
But that's the last game. So week 2 almost in the books. And so for some insights into the week that was in week 2 of the Texas high school football season, let's go to the Dave Campbell's Texas Football chief NFL correspondent, my mom.
Hi, this is Tep Mom reporting the NFL moment. I'm going to highlight the LA Chargers who beat the Carolina Panthers 26-3. On offense, J.K. Dobbins went to LaGrange High School, had 1 touchdown. Quentin Johnson, who graduated from Temple High School, had 2 touchdowns. And Cameron Dicker, who went to Lake Travis High School, had 2 field goals. That's all the scoring they did. That's it for this week. See ya.
Thanks, Mom.
Dude, shout out Tep Mom, because she knew J.K. Dobbins absolutely got my fantasy team going, which I'm playing some chick named Mallory, so this was crucial for the battle of the house.
Anyway, thanks, Mom, our NFL correspondent, my mom, with the NFL Minute. Stock rising, stock up, whatever you call it. I don't want to steal your stonks.
Stonks. I can play our WTF Stonks intro if you really need me to.
I might pick that up next week. I don't know if this segment has enough bits. Prosper Walnut Grove.
Yeah.
With a 29-28 heart-stopping victory over Frisco Emerson.
On a Thursday.
Their first ever district victory. They're now 3-0 on the year. And I understand. So they pummeled their first 2 opponents, Carrollton Newman Smith and Little Elm. And I understand if you were like, okay, well, Carrollton Newman Smith and Little Elm. Frisco Emerson was at a dang state semifinal last year.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Allison has the Wildcats of Walnut Grove 3-0, entering their open date. And by the way, now they got there's a stretch in actually October. Anna, Lovejoy, and Melissa in consecutive weeks.
Oof.
But I'll tell you this, they've set themselves up in a really, really nice way to find a playoff spot in their first varsity season. That was a huge win for Walnut Grove. 3-0, entering their open date before they play Denison in a couple weeks. Walnut Grove, stock rising. Stock falling. It's time to talk about Dangerfield. 0-3. They get blasted by Pleasant Grove. Now, Pleasant Grove's a 4A team. I get it. But so far on the year, they have a loss to Gladewater, to Tatum, and now to Pleasant Grove. They've been outscored 97-33. I'm a little concerned about the offense. They have not scored more than 14 points in a game. And by the way, it doesn't get any easier. They play center this week, who's 3-0.
Not good.
I'm not burying them. I think that, in fact, if you were to ask me right now, I think that they are probably still my favorite to win the district, although Hooks may have something to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the early start for Davin Nelson's squad, a team I think we had ranked 2nd in the state to start the year in 382, hasn't been great. It's time for the Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him player of the week. Each week, Matt Stepp will identify one Texas high school football player that he believes has got that dog in him. And here is the Week 3 Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him Player of the Week.
And now, the Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him. Player of the Week.
What's up, y'all? Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Here at George Bush Airport in Houston, Texas. I'm about to fly back to DFW and watch my Dallas Cowboys take care of business against the New Orleans Saints. But before I do that, we need to announce the winner of the Week 3, Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him award. And the winner of the Week 3, Matt Stepp, he got that dog in him award, is none other than Fort Bend Ridge Point quarterback Austin Carlisle. The University of Houston commit threw 4 touchdown passes to lead Ridge Point to a 38-21 win over Bridgeland last night in a battle of state-ranked teams in the Houston area. Carlisle gets it done with his arm and his legs. He is the winner of the Week 3, Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him award winner. Congrats, Austin. You, sir, have got that dog in you.
This has been the Matt Stepp He Got That Dog in Him Player of the Week.
Thank you, Matthew, for filing that courageous report live from an airport. Final shot. A word on regional strength. I got to thinking about this when I was putting together the rankings this week, which we'll reveal here in a couple of minutes after we talk with Arlington Seguin head coach Joe Gordon, that there are a couple of regions that I think have emerged to be even stronger than we thought that they were going to be. The one that really springs to mind for me, and the one that kind of started this conversation for me, is 2A Division 1, Region 1. Okay? Stanford, Panhandle, Sunray, Hawley. In your top 4. Right? Spoiler alert, I'm fairly certain that when you see the rankings come up in a couple of minutes, all 4 of those teams are going to be in the top 10 in 281. And so this is also the time of year where I start looking at the bigger picture. Obviously, district races are going to start getting nitty-gritty. But I start looking at the bigger picture and what these playoff brackets are going to look like. And where your region is obviously super important. We talked about it all the time when realignment came out about how Port Neches, Groves, and South Oak Cliff being in the same region is a huge deal. Here's another example. Your playoff path matters. And for the teams in Region 1, we thought it was going to be tough, and now it looks like it may even be even more grueling. The word on regional strength. That is Monday Morning Fallout. We're Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays here on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Hope you'll consider going to TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Do you like football? It would be weird if you were watching this show and you didn't. I'm just being honest.
That's true.
Just being honest. If you like football, give yourself the gift of football this football season by going to TexasFootball.com/subscribe so that you can watch dozens and dozens of live Texas high school football games on your device at TexanLive.com.
That is like
football a lot.
Well, that's like the perfect gift to give yourself because it's something. It's like the Jelly of the Month Club. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's going to give you a gift for the whole entire year. On top of the fact that you're going to enjoy it. On top of the fact that it ain't expensive.
No, treat yourself. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Coming up here in just a moment, we'll talk with the head coach of the 3-0 Arlington Seguin Cougars. Coach Joe Gordon will join us live here on the show, but first a word from these valued partners.
Hot days. Call for cold coffee. So grab great tasting community coffee, make your favorite cold beverage, and get your chill on all season long. Family owned since 1919, Community Coffee has spent 5 generations roasting blends right here in the USA. Shop now or find it near you at communitycoffee.com.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days. with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wings drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
Back here on Texas Football Today, I'm Greg, that's Ashley, and Pickle, let's go to the hotline. And let's welcome in the head coach of the 3-0 Arlington Seguin Cougars. We're pleased to be joined by Coach Joe Gordon. Coach, how are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me today.
How are things in Southeast Arlington these days?
Well, I'll tell you what, things are picking up and moving fast as we prepare for our next game, which will be homecoming on this Thursday night versus Grapevine Mustangs.
Well, you guys have a lot to be excited about down there. You guys are 3-0 for the first time since 2015. Off to a fantastic start after last week's win over Burleson. I guess I'll ask you this. You guys are 3-0. Are you surprised that you guys are 3-0, or is it just us?
Well, I think that anytime you can go 3-0 in the state of Texas, I think it's something to obviously take a look at. For us, our mindset in going into this season, and as we speak right now, has just been 1-0. Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of been our focus. That's still our focus. And I guess if you can go 1-0, it's possible to go 3-0.
This is a program that we think has been on the cusp of something big for a couple of years now. You guys are off to this 3-0 start. What in your mind has been the biggest difference in this year's start versus maybe the past couple of years?
That's an easy answer. It's the senior leadership. Mm-hmm. Since I've been here at Seguin, this is the largest senior class that we've assembled. And a lot of these kids over time have continued to work together, stay together, work hard, and now we're beginning to see some return on their investments and their coaches.
The biggest thing for me when I take a look at this, we'll talk about the offense in a moment, but your defense has been absolutely suffocating. And you haven't been playing any slouches. I mean, North Mesquite, Red Oak, Burleson, they can all score, and you've held them to a combined 21 points. On the defensive side of the ball, what has been working so well for you guys that has you guys off to this hot start?
Well, I think that, once again, it's that senior veteran leadership inside the box. Mm-hmm. We're led by Mike linebacker, LaCorian Hodge, who has played a lot of football going into his senior year. And so he's been able to really, teach the young guys, how we play. And they've been able to catch on. And like I said, a good, hard off season and a good, tough summer, and having that senior leadership pulling those guys in there in the boxes has allowed us to play, considerably tough inside from the tackle to tackle. And that's kind of what's helped us out.
Talking with Joe Gordon, the head coach of the Arlington Seguin Cougars here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Coach, on the offensive side, you guys run the triple option out there, and I'm always curious to ask coaches about who run a style like that. The triple option is in many ways an offense that is not predicated on making stars. That is very much a team-based offense. Everybody's got their job to do, and sometimes you got to be the worker bee. My question for you is how do you get your guys to buy in on a system that maybe is not predicated on making stars, especially when they're watching college football on Saturdays and Sundays where there are these star makers? How do you go about kind of building that culture of unselfishness throughout the course of your offense?
Yeah, I think, the first thing that you want to do is make sure you have the right culture in place. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what's taking the longest to build here. And when you get the culture in place, then you're able to really get guys who understand what you're trying to do, why we're trying to do it. And the ultimate goal there is to make sure that everybody's 1/11th counts. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at our offense, we're a spread multiple formation offense with the ability to, get the ball in the hands of multiple players. And that's our approach each week. We've been fortunate this year to just have a group, once again, of guys who've been together for a while now. And now they are seeing things quicker, and they're understanding their alignment assignments better. And I think that, as a result, we're seeing them play better.
One of the guys who's been the real breakout stars for you offensively is your quarterback, Chevy Andrews, who's thrown for 8 touchdowns, run for another couple of scores. This is a guy who, as a junior, has stepped in a big way to take over the starting role. What is it about your QB1 that really makes him special, that sets him apart?
Well, I think the first thing that you look for when you talk about that position is you define, is he a leader? Mm-hmm. And if he's a leader, then you have an internal yet external component of your coaching staff. And I think that with Chevy, that's the first thing that stands out when you look at him. His approach, his business approach on a daily, and then he's a high-level thinker, and he has the ability to think quick. And he also has the knack that you want your quarterback to have, which is, he's a leader, and he's the first one on the field and the last one off, and he's the first one in the meeting room. And he, and I think it shows when you get to the game. He's comfortable out there. He's done it in practice, and he's seen it, and he's ready to go rep it.
So I want to ask you a little bit about the kind of the vibe around the team right now off to this 3-0 start. You guys, really, really impressive victory over Burleson this past week. In film, at practice, could I, as somebody who just drops in on practice today, would I be able to sense a buzz around this program right now befitting of a 3-0 team?
That would be for you to probably come take a look from our lenses. We're going to always find things we can get better at in practice. We're going to always approach it as, the last rep wasn't good enough with a mindset that we must get better. And so we don't know what that looks like from day to day. We just know that it must improve. And so some days a practice may look as though we know what we're doing, and some days it may look as though we're still trying to figure it out. I think the reality, though, is just get better and get better from one rep to the next. If that's from one practice, the practice that you're there, then, that's what it is. But regardless of how that snap or that day finishes up, our mindset is next play, the best play. And so we're going to look to win that next rep and just get better.
Final question for Joe Gordon, the head coach of the Arlington Seguin Cougars here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. All right, Coach. Finally, you guys are 3-0. It's on to the next one, taking on Grapevine for homecoming. Now, Grapevine's 0-3, but I probably don't need to tell you, probably better than their record indicates. I know that you guys are in the lab trying to figure out the best way to attack the Mustangs. I don't want to ask you to give away your game plan here, but when you take a look at what you guys are going to be up against on Thursday against Grapevine, what do you see?
Well, first thing I see is a football team that's well coached. I see a program that has tradition, and I know very well that this is going to be a team that can strike and get going at any time and be a problem for anyone on any day in our league. So let's start there. I think for us to have success, it goes back to who we are as a team and what we do. They're going to come out and they're going to be who they are. They're triple option threat. They're going to get the ball in the hands of multiple players. They're going to play smart, controlled, disciplined football. And I think that we're going to have to match that. And I think come Thursday night, we're going to find out, how good we really are in terms of our discipline and how well we can stay true to who we think we are.
He's Joe Gordon. He's the head coach of the 3-0 Arlington Seguin Cougars. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the fantastic start, and let's go make it a 4-0 on Thursday.
Thank you so much, Greg. Really appreciate this and highlighting our kids in our program, our coaches. We're excited about this opportunity to get out and play in such a tough league as well. So thank you for covering it, and we appreciate all you do for high school sports.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Coach. There
Take care. Bye-bye.
Joe Gordon, head coach of the Seguin Cougars here on Texas Football Today. Again, not to put too fine a point on it, but first time since 2015 they're 3-0. Mm-hmm. And by the way, first time since 2015 they were 2-0. This is a program that last year 6-4 missed out on the playoffs by a whisker. We felt like under Joe Gordon the arrow has been pointing up, and this is me editorializing now. This feels like kind of a long time coming. Mm-hmm. This has been a program we've had our eye on. The one for me, I think it was the same thing with you. Week 2, when they smoked Red Oak, they beat Red Oak. What was the final? They beat Red Oak 50-14.
Yeah.
That's when all of us kind of looked around and go, Seguin?
And this is a Red Oak team that just bounced back against Cedar Hill after that. So they're no fluke. They've got incredible playmakers.
Yeah, 100%. And so we're really excited to see what the future holds for Arlington Seguin and their head coach, Joe Gordon. We appreciate his time, as always. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every Monday and Thursday on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. All right, Pickle, is now time for very exciting things to roll out the Week 4 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football Rankings. Of course, Dave Campbell's Texas Football is the official rankings provider of the Associated Press. These are the Texas High School Football rankings of record. When somebody says that so-and-so, let me spoil something. Okay, Duncanville's number 1. When it says number 1 Duncanville, when it says number 1 Duncanville, that's because of these rankings. We are, of course, very proud of it. You can find it at texasfootball.com/rankings. Let's roll out the Week 4 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football Rankings, starting with 6A, where there's a little bit of churn because of some movement, some major changes there. Specifically, take a look at you got to look kind of outside the top 10. There, but some teams that are making some moves, especially in the outside the top 10. You take a look at that got messed up. This is I'm going to find my worksheet now because that'll be better. This is you see Atascocita, they're at number 8. Their big win last week over Westlake. Westlake drops all the way to number 14. Cibolo Steel, they're at number 9. Allen up into the top 10. They're at number 10. Katy sitting there at 15. New to the rankings this week, a number of teams, including, I believe, Waxahachie new to the rankings, joined the rankings this week. Yes, they joined the rankings this week. Willis moves from 25 to 21, their big win over Conroe Caney Creek. Fort Bend Hightower moves up 3 spots with their big win over Fort Bend, or over Port Arthur Memorial. And let's see, Fulshire up a couple spots to number 13 as a result. Byron Nelson loses to South Lake Carroll. They do hang on to a spot in the rankings there at number 25. Number 24, Spring Westfield crashes out of the rankings. To 5A we go, where there's some movement in 5A Division I at the bottom of the rankings. Top 5 remain unchanged. Denton Ryan, Highland Park, Aledo, College Station, and Frisco Lone Star. A&M Consolidated nudged up 1 spot to number 8. Number 9, Pflugerville Weiss crashes out of the rankings, but new to the rankings, or as does number 7, Abilene. New to the rankings. Number 8, the Piper Warriors, the San Antonio Piper Warriors, up to number 8 in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And the Golden Tornadoes of Galveston Ball, the number 9 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Port Arthur Memorial, in their overtime loss to a state-ranked 6A team, we keep them at number 10 in 5A Division I. To 5A Division II we go, where it's largely unchanged, especially in the top 8. But you have a couple of, with Port Neches Groves, South Oak Cliff, and Alamo Heights rounding out the top 3. Liberty Hill nudges up 1 spot to number 9. Corpus Christi Miller crashes out of the rankings with their loss to DeSoto. And new to the rankings, the Cubs of Brenham are the number 10 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. On to 4A we go, where there's some pretty major shakeups in 4A Division I. Specifically, Austin LBJ, big win over Wimberley. They nudge up from number 8 to number 5. Lake Dallas up 3 spots to number 6. Longview Pine Tree up 3 spots to number 7. Kilgore drops 3 spots with their narrow loss to Gilmer from number 5 to number 8. San Antonio Davenport and Brownwood crash out of the rankings. New to the rankings at number 9, the Indians of Alvarado are the number 9 team. And the Ricebirds of El Campo enter the rankings at number 10 with a win over Fort Bend Dulles. 4A Division II gets a little bit of a makeover as well. Wimberley drops from number 3 to number 6 as a result of their loss to Austin LBJ. As a result, Belleville, Brock, and Gilmer move up each move up 1 spot. Silsbee moves up 1 spot with their win over Nederland. Madisonville drops from number 8 to number 10 with their 1-point loss to state-ranked Malakoff. Speaking of Malakoff, to 3A we go. 3A Division I, top 7 unchanged. Malakoff, Columbus, Franklin, Edna, Bushland, Hitchcock, and Pottsboro, but the bottom 3 got entirely churned. Out are Grandview, Liberty, Ilo, and Tatum, who all lost this week, and new to the rankings. At number 8, Palestine Westwood, 3-0, big win over Timpson, snapping their long winning streak. They're number 8. Goliad re-enters the rankings at number 9 with their very impressive win over Vanderbilt Industrial. And new to the rankings, the Panthers of Anahuac at number 10 in 3A Division 1. They are 3-0 with a win over Garrison. 3A Division 2 we go. Gunner remains number 1 despite the loss to Salina. Again, punching up to a state-ranked 4A squad is tough business. There is a little bit of shuffling at the bottom. Holiday loses a close one to Fort Worth Benbrook. Benbrook is unbeaten. We dropped them from number 6 to number 8. As a result, New Diana and East Bernard each unbeaten. Good win for East Bernard over Ganado. They nudge up to number 6 and number 7, respectively. But other than that, no changes in the 3A Division 2 top 10. To 2A Division 1 we go, where just throw the whole thing in a wood chipper and try again. It was absolute chaos in 2A Division 1, and here's what we came up with. There's a new number 1 team in 2A Division 1, and they are the Stamford Bulldogs. Their big win over Lubbock Christian, 33-6, combined with a couple of other losses, and the strength of their resume has them rising to number 1. Refuria, with their one touchdown loss to state-ranked 3A Edna, moves them up to number 2. Ganado, with their loss to East Bernard, drops from number 1 to number 3, but we're still pretty bullish on the Indians there. Hawley up 3 spots to number 4. Sunray up 3 spots to number 5 with a big win over Stratford. Beckville up 3 spots to number 6. Honeygrove loses to Winsboro, drops from number 3 to number 7. Timpson loses to Palestine Westwood, newly ranked. They drop to number 8 in the rankings. Mason remains the same at number 10, but new to the rankings, the 3-0 Panhandle Panthers are the number 9 team in Dave Campbell's Texas football. Impressive victory over Dalhart. Number 6 Garrison crashes out. And to 2A Division 2 we go, where we also have a new number 1. Stratford loses their second game of the year to Sunray, but we keep them at number 2. But Mart has ascended to the number 1 spot in the rankings there. Munster, with their impressive win over Windthorst, moves up to number 3. Bremond up to number 4. Albany gets their first win of the year. They stay the same at number 5. Windthorst bumps down to number 6. Wellington up a spot. Collinsville up 2 spots to number 8. Lindsay enters the rankings at number 10 with their big win over Pilot Point, 35-0. And number 7, Shiner, drops out of the rankings. To the 6-man ranks we go, where I would like to commend the 1A Division 1 ranks on behaving. 10 teams, 10 wins, everyone remains the same. Top 5 remains unchanged. Gordon, Abbott, Whiteface, Westbrook, and May, all winners this week. And in 1A Division 2, they could not behave, as a couple of big changes here. Specifically, Benjamin loses to Borden County, snapping their state-long 30-game winning streak. That drops them from number 3 to number 8. As a result, Cherokee moves up to number 3. Iredell up 2 spots to number 4. Oglesby gets a big win, their first win of the year. They stay the same at number 5. Sydney moves up 2 spots to number 6. Whit Harrell up 2 spots to number 7. Klondike and Rochelle crash out of the rankings, and new to the rankings, number 9, Zephyr. The Bulldogs into the rankings at number 9, as is Miami. The Warriors of Miami are the number 10 team in Dave Campbell's Texas football. To the private school ranks we go. 11-man ranks unchanged. San Antonio Holy Cross wins the Holy Bowl against San Antonio Central Catholic. They remain number 1. Argyle Liberty Christian and Fort Bend, or rather Dallas First Baptist, round out the top 3. And then in the 6-man ranks, number 3 Decatur Victory Christian crashes out of the rankings. Fredericksburg Heritage nudges up a spot to number 3. New to the rankings at number 4, the Cavaliers of Fort Worth Covenant Classical, now the number 4 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football Private School 6-man rankings. So there you have it. Your Week 4 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football Rankings. You can find all the rankings at texasfootball.com/rankings and keep up with them there. Some chaos there, especially in the 2A ranks. There was a lot of movement, and we're trying to now, one of the challenges we have with the rankings is we have kind of the wrong amount of data, in the sense of we still need to rely a little bit on our preseason projections a little bit. But we also have enough now, 3 weeks worth of data, that they need to start weighing more on what we're doing. So this is kind of that balance that we're striking right now. There are some teams that we have right on the doorstep of getting into this rankings, where we're more or less just kind of waiting for a team to lose to give them a spot. So you can find all the rankings at texasfootball.com/rankings. We are Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's, follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in a little bit, we will be joined by Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, for This Week in Recruiting. But first, Pickle, we have to roll out the Dave Campbell's Texan Live Top 10 Plays of the Week. Dozens and dozens, like 60-plus Texas high school football games live on Texan Live this week. And we asked our friend Trevor Bullard to go through all of them and watch every one of them in succession and chart every play. And then grade every play. We gave him like a grading chart of if it's a 1 through a 10. And then he takes those rankings and he throws them in the trash and he just picks out the 10 best plays of the week. Here it is, the Week 3, Dave Campbell's Texan Live Top 10 Plays of the Week.
In the backfield, Bolenberg out, will hand off, now will fire into the end zone. He's got a big man touchdown. How about that? Bakapuna Paketti, the senior defensive lineman.
3 seconds, they get the snap off. Hargrave to throw, tipped, and then right into the hands of the unintended receiver, Josh Arroyo.
He's in the middle. Snap. He's going to roll to the right-hand side, looking for something. Ollie Scott's going to pick it up, throw it down. Nice throw completed to Marquise Murray. Going across the 30, 25, 20. Marquise Murray, a lot of speed. 10, 5. Touchdown. Marquise Murray, 40 yards.
Hand off, a little counter play. Breaks free. Up the middle. Cut to the left. Breaks another tackle, and he's going to go all the way. Touchdown. What a run from Ethan Carr.
Johnson's going to go deep down the sideline, and he hits Hendrick in stride. Maxwell Hendrick makes the move, and he has one man to beat. He will beat him 97 yards for a touchdown. Hand off to Stewart. Bounces off a couple tacklers, still on his feet, still going. Versus field, and Ricky Stewart has green grass in front of him. Does he get in? Touchdown, Chapel Hill. Good. Laylock got the carry. He was able to make the first man miss, and the ball's on the carpet. And now with a full head of steam, Carday Mack is off to the races. Carday Mack, touchdown to Tastasita. Spinks in the shotgun. Clock continues to run. 10 seconds left. Spinks on the rollout to the left side. Goes for the end zone. Looks for Massey. There's a flag in the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Flower Mound Jaguars. Nice.
Movement early. Doesn't look like there was a flag thrown. Dickinson thought they had a free play. Oh my goodness! What a catch! Tiptoeing down the sideline is Caleb Peterson, and the junior somehow got a foot down.
Right side, I formation. Look at the jumbo set. They may run it with Lee. 2-point try for the win. Handoff off the outside. Slow down. Tackle down. Hebrew makes the stop, and they win the ball game. Who else but Dalen Owens blows the play up, and the Hawks hang on with a 1-point road win.
Texan Live Top 10 Plays of the Week. You can find those on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Dave Campbell's TF. A lot of other good stuff there on that YouTube page. Go ahead and hit that, smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Is that what the kids say? I feel like that's what the children say. Anyway, there it is, the Dave Campbell's Texan Live Top 10 Plays of the Week. You know, it's been a good show, Pickle. Would you agree it's been a good show?
Yeah.
Do you think we can upgrade it to great?
I do, because Grev.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Cruton. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. When you see that yellow, you know you're in for it, fella.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right. Well done.
Good. It being
That's
good
it.
chicken.
It's your thinking jacket.
This is my thinking jacket. That's what I put it on. This is. I just want to up the game, the thinking game, with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting. Hi, Greg.
What's up?
How's your weekend?
Good.
Okay, no notes.
Football. I mean, what's your weekend? Hey guys, we watch a lot of football.
It's okay.
We watch a lot of football.
It's not like this is a dialogue show. It's fine, whatever. Let's get to This Week in Recruiting. He's all business today, and for good reason. Let's get to our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, going to North Crowley to talk about their 2025 wide receiver, Quentin Gibson, who, quite frankly, I'm not sure that there has been a better player in Texas high school football this season than Quentin Gibson. I don't know if these are the right highlights here, but Quentin Gibson has been absolutely fantastic. 20 catches, 503 yards, and 10 touchdowns in his first 3 games. He's the new DCT Up 3-star. He picked up an offer this week from TCU, and why the heck not? He has been, quite frankly, unstoppable for the Panthers.
Unstoppable on the field. Big wins lead to big offers, and that's what's happening at North Crowley right now. He's not the only prospect on that team that's receiving a lot of attention for some of the victories that they've been able to rack up here in the early going, but he's definitely been the most exciting. We had the Lancaster game week 1, and Quentin Gibson was our MVP. Mm-hmm. Then the next week he was nominated for Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week, and then he may have had his best game in the last game.
Yes.
I mean, arguably every game that this kid plays
against Geyer.
Yeah, every game this kid plays is amazing.
We had the North Crowley and Denton Geyer game on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. It was part of Texas Football Tonight. And every time you would look up, it felt like he had the ball in his hands. And every time he had the ball in his hands, it looked like, he's just like running untouched into the end zone.
Let me ask you this. Q for 6 is his Twitter. Tell me that's not like the perfect name. And that's one that's sticking. It stuck during our broadcast. Now I've heard other people calling him Q for 6 during their broadcast. So like Q for 6 is something that really stuck with us when we did that game on Texan Live. Me and Matt Stepp and James Tritley, we had a really good time during that game, but he was definitely the player of the game. He scored 3 touchdowns there. Now, his recruitment is about to hit warp speed because he got his first P4 offer from TCU. Now, TCU has some pretty strong connections in there at North Crowley. I mean, if you're a coach at TCU, North Crowley's got to be like that pipeline school for you, right? That's got to be the school that you spend the most time in. You can't miss on a kid from North Crowley.
You're exactly right. I would say this. If you're at TCU, you're saying Quentin Gibson's a must-have.
Yep.
Like, plain and simple. He's in our backyard. Like, he can walk to TCU.
He plays at our pipeline program.
Absolutely.
And I think that'll pay dividends not only for getting great talent potentially into Fort Worth, but, I mean, the more players you offer at North Crowley, the better, right, if you're TCU.
Yeah. I would say it's a good time to be spending some time on campus at North Crowley, and a big reason why is Quentin Gibson.
He's going to make somebody real happy.
He absolutely is. Let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to, stay in the DFW Metroplex, to Hebron to talk about their senior defensive back, Gabriel White, who this week committed to North Texas. I
thought we were going to get the call. I was wondering where the call was.
Hold on. Sorry, there's like 18 things going on in here. I'm sorry.
2. Committed to North Texas.
Call.
He's got 5 interceptions he had 5 interceptions as an all-district guy as a junior last week, a first-team all-district guy. And this is a guy who, I mean, you're never going to believe this, but Hebron's got a ball hawk. I, for one, am shocked.
Hebron seems like to me over the years is one of these programs that always has a little bit of under-the-radar talent, and Gabriel White is next in line to continue that trend. He's got good size, 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot, 165, 175 pounds. Can really play on the island. I really like that a lot. And if I'm a North Texas fan, the reason why I get excited about this commitment, because you look at this and you're like, oh, well, they beat Northwestern State. They should beat Northwestern State, right, for a commit, especially from the Dallas area. But why I'm excited about this commitment is that White had the chance to go to the North Texas camp and receive one-on-one coaching from that coaching staff, and that's where he picked up his offer. So they had their chance to work with him and decide, like, is he a good fit for our program? How does he fit within our program? Do we like him as a coaching staff in one-on-one coaching situations? Yes. The answer to that was yes. And then I will say this. He's made a significant leap from his junior year to his senior year of film. Mm-hmm. You're watching junior year highlights here as, you know, people who are listening to this, they can't see it, but really good in one-on-one situations. He's even better this year. He brings a lockdown mentality to the position and definitely a prospect on the rise.
He is a name to know there, the newest North Texas commit in Gabriel White. Let's round it all out. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Let's round it all out with our Underclassmen of the Week. Our Underclassmen of the Week, it's DFW heavy, because this time we're going south
Just
of town.
the way it worked out this week.
South of town. Talk about Waxahachie's junior wide receiver, Cohen Brown, this week, who was a breakout star this summer, ran a 4.43 in the 40, which will get you noticed at the UMHB camp, and now he is the second leading pass catcher in DFW, 17 catches, 461 yards, and 5 scores, and as a result, the offers are flying in for Cohen Brown at Waxahachie.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he might have had his best game in this most recent win over Forney. It was a hard-fought win, one of the week's best games, one of the week's best matchups. And Waxahachie is always a program that we've have on our radar here, but I feel like this team is playing significantly better than they did 1 year ago, and Cohen Brown is one of those reasons why. Ironically, he's number 2 in the DFW for receiving yards and receptions behind Quentin Gibson. But Cohen Brown is a freak show. This kid is really starting to blow up with attention, blow up with offers. I think he's a 30 offer type of kid, and what I think is really cool about his game is he is a wide receiver, most likely a wide receiver at the next level, but he also had 2 sacks in the win over Forney. So he is an athletic specimen who can flip over, provide valuable minutes on defense. You don't see that at the 6A level too often, where players are asked to play both ways. Well, Cohen Brown has the skill set to be able to do that, which just speaks to his upside for development. I also hear he's an excellent baseball player. So multi-sport background.
Okay, well, when we launch a baseball magazine,
Cohen Brown's going to be. If we launch a baseball magazine, Cohen Brown, you will be in.
You will be in it. That is a promise. One guy who's always in our magazine. It's Greg Powers.
True.
Where are you going this week?
This week, I know for certain Thursday night is Fort Bend Marshall and Randall. Likely.
Man, that is a heater of a game.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I've had that one circled for a while now because I think it's for the district championship, and you're going to see a little bit of rivalry there. That's a rivalry that's budding and growing. And an interesting fact is Noriel Pac-Man Dominguez played for Fort Bend Marshall last year. He's playing for Richmond Randall this year. He's the middle linebacker, and he's a dog. So I'm excited to see, like, there's got to be some bad blood over that, so I think the dial's going to be turned up for this game.
And I made the point on TexasFootball.com a couple weeks ago about how I think this game, Randall and Marshall, really is a measuring stick for, is Marshall still the 5A Houston area team of record? You know what I mean? Port Neches Groves is not a Houston area in my opinion. They are in Southeast Texas, right? But as far as Houston, Fort Bend Marshall has been the 5A D2 team of record. Randall, still young, did better than Marshall last year. If they can beat them head to head in this way, I think that would really kind of signal a passing of the torch, I think, in the Houston area. Now, maybe I'm just creating a narrative where there isn't one, but that's kind of my job to do that. So
no, I think you've hit it spot on. That's exactly why this was an intriguing game to me, not only from a recruiting standpoint, but from like a pure great Texas high school football game standpoint. I'm really excited about this one. But the recruits are going to be there too.
Yeah.
Landon Williams-Callis and Chase Sims for Richmond Randall. Of course, I already talked about Pac-Man Dominguez. And then Isaiah Williams over at Fort Bend Marshall, who could be the number 1 player in the state in the 2026 cycle. At least he has an argument. He has well over 30 scholarship offers. And Fort Bend Marshall's always loaded.
Oh, yeah.
They got that big quarterback. Caden Johnson, I think is his name, 6'5", 6'6". That dude's a truck.
So you're going there. Do you have an idea on Friday yet, or no? Is that still?
Well, I'm still waiting to hear back on the credential thing because you couldn't submit. You can't submit at shirts until Monday morning. They actually have like a very specific way to do it. Austin Westlake and Cibolo Steel.
That'd be pretty
which
good.
is a pretty epic game as well. So
banger.
a little bit of a roadie this week.
Okay. He's always on the road. He's Greg Powers, our director of recruiting at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He has fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Let's go over to Gizmo for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
Let's start off with, how about the 3-0 Flomo Jaguars? You want to talk about them?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Flower Mound's been off to a fantastic start. And I think what they did last week was probably their strongest win of the year, beating Lake Highlands in a real thriller.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, when they beat Arlington Bowie in double overtime in the first in week 1, and I'm like, okay, well,
win your clunkers, week 1.
What's that?
I said win your clunkers.
Yeah,
it's week 1.
And I was like, okay, well, what exactly does that mean? But they followed that up with a resounding win over Wiley, and then they went to Lake Highlands and won. They had the open date. I will say this: they opened district play in 2 weeks against Denton Geyer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find out everything I need to know about them.
It's not a light district at all.
No. But if they come out and they bow up, I don't even need them to win.
No.
If they go up there and they bow up to Geyer and they give them all sorts of trouble,
then they can fight for 3rd or 4th
I
place
think they're
probably.
playoff team. Absolutely. So excited to see that one. Flower Mound is certainly on my radar at 3-0.
I'm watching Drew Evers highlights right now.
You're watching
As a matter
Drew
of fact,
Evers?
look at this on my computer. Drew Evers highlights from Flower
It's true.
Mound.
I'm looking at it.
Thanks for sending me the highlights, Drew. The tape looks great. He's getting some pancakes on here, and that's a reason if you're a Jaguars fan to be excited because he's one of the top prospects in the country.
He's a mauler up there. What's next, Pickle?
All right, time to do some defense here. How is Atascocita not in the top 5 after dominating Westlake and Katy on the road 2 weeks in a row?
What a great question. No. Let me pull up the 6A rankings. The biggest thing is that right now we have Duncanville, North Shore, North Crowley, DeSoto, and Summer Creek. Right there are your rankings, top 5. We have Atascocita sitting there at 8. Awfully impressive. Certainly, awfully impressive. I think right now we are still, one of the things to remember is that we are still basing this largely on what we've seen and then 3 weeks of data, but also based on our preseason projections, right? That we haven't seen Duncanville, for example, do anything to dissuade us from them being a top 5 team. Same with North Shore. North Crowley is certainly deserving to be up there with their win over DeSoto. We still think DeSoto is pretty good. And then Summer Creek, who's been absolutely dominant. There's only 5 spots in the top 5, plain and simple. Now, look, Atascocita is going to have an opportunity to continue to earn their way up there. They will have dates with North Shore and Atascocita down the road.
Summer Creek.
North Shore and Summer Creek.
They have a lot of dates with Atascocita.
I would say right now, the resume is excellent. There are some teams up there who started the season ahead of them in our preseason projections who have essentially done nothing to dissuade us from them being top 5 teams. This says more about the teams ahead of them than it says about Atascocita, quite frankly. But, we're very, very bullish on Atascocita, obviously. And being 8th in the state is no small feat either. So there's your take. You got an ender for me?
Yeah. This was one of our spotlight games last week. How seriously do you take LBJ after their win over Wimberley? What are your main takeaways for the LBJ squad, and is there still more you would like to see in their upcoming pre-district games?
I was very impressed with them, especially defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Stover's a truck out there, to borrow a phrase from the Mansing, am I right? And they were able to bottle him up largely. Now, Wimberley was nicked up, but you don't apologize for winning. I thought they were very impressive. They will face a different team this week. They play Dallas Parish Episcopal, who is a state-ranked private school team. They will challenge them in different ways, which I think will be very interesting. But I think you should be very bullish on LBJ, especially on the defensive side. I thought they played really, really well defensively against a Wimberley team that can beat you in a variety of different ways. I think that they defended Nelson Field in a big way. I was very impressed with what LBJ had to offer in their win over Wimberley. So, there you go.
That'll do it.
Okay. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for being a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. If you are. But if not,
you should
let's do my tap and step out. We're going to do tap and step later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram. Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to Arlington Seguin head coach Joe Gordon and to Greg Powers for being our guests. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
Greg Tupper. Vince Young plays New York Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow. No, we won't. We'll see you Thursday.
Goodness.
For episode 1800 on Texas Football Today.